Welcome to Lassoing Leadership. I'm your host, Jason Rogers.
And I'm the other host, Garth Nichols.
And this has been a really special season 3, Garth. Do you know why? Of course you know why.
Well, Jason, it's been special because we've done some pretty crazy things. We've had some incredible guests on the show. We've recorded a live podcast, which just dropped, and it was so much fun. And then there's more to come because we've also been piloting what we think might be a season 4, even though Ted Lasso only lasts in 3 seasons. We think we've got some ideas for season 4.
Yeah, Garth, and I can't wait to do another live podcast with you. I think that was tons of fun. Maybe we'll find ourselves in a NACE conference or something someday soon. So that'll be a good opportunity. Indeed, we've done a lot of things, and we've got some pretty special bonus episodes as well. And I don't think today is going to be any different. This is the biggest and best bonus episode we could think of.
Yeah, we've taken a lesson from Ted Lasso and have been really trying to, through the course of season 3, call back to previous guests on our show as a way to stay connected with them.
And I think ultimately connection is what's really important in life and in leadership. And Garth, that's why I love this podcast. It allows us to stay connected to each other, but also to really incredible people around the world.
Yeah. So today is the ultimate callback. We've invited a whole bunch of our previous guests back for today's episode, and we're so excited to have them with us.
That's right. And so to maximize our time together, let's go around the horn and have them introduce themselves, something about them that they want us to know, maybe their title, their favorite Ted Lassoism, etc., and maybe where they are in the world, because we've got the globe pretty much cased here. So let's get right into it. Why don't you take it? Oh, go ahead, Tracy. You take it away. Sorry.
You said get into it, and I took you literally. Hi, everybody. I'm Tracy Fosher. I'm deputy head at Holy Trinity School, north of Toronto. And just excited and happy to be back here again today.
All right. My name is Virgil Hill. I'm the Director of Athletics and Department Head at Fraser Academy in Vancouver, British Columbia. However, as you can see behind me, there's a palm tree, some clouds. I'm coming to you from Antigua, West Indies. I had a function down here, so it's a little hot, but nice.
And hello, I'm Dr. Kathy Bishop. I am the program head for our Masters of Leadership, specializing in our executive leadership and our values-based graduate certificate out here at Royal Roads University on beautiful Vancouver Island. And I had the privilege of being here on season 1, episode 8, and really excited to be back. So thank you.
Awesome.
That's so funny. I was also on episode 8, but season 2, Kathy.
Look at us.
We're episode 8ers. My name is Nicole Assisi, and I am a education consultant. We work with executive leaders and schools to really create some coherence and strategy around their instructional model. Organization I work for is called Thrive, and I am thrilled to be here today. Sorry I stepped on you. You were going to go next.
That's all good. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanai Naik. I am currently in Hanoi, Vietnam, where I'm the secondary school deputy principal for teaching and learning at the United Nations International School. I go way back with Garth from my time in Toronto. I was on season 2, episode 4, I believe. I think I got that right. It asked us what our favorite Ted Lasso is, and then I can't not forget the line about, do you believe in ghosts? Yes, but they need to believe in themselves. And so that is what favorite Lassoism. So looking forward to it. Thanks.
What a lineup around the world. We've got professors, authors, teachers, leaders in the house. I am so excited. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Yeah, so today we're going to break from any tradition in an attempt to get the most out of our guests for our listeners and, of course, for the practice of leadership. So we're going to start things off with a this or that round. Now, some of these came from our listeners. We asked, we put it out there, and some people were able to get some good questions in. So this is where our guests have to answer a binary question with just one word, as much as we can, okay? So thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, we've got a bit of an order here. We'll go Tracy, Virgil, Kathy, Nicole, Tanai. So this or that. So this is when guests are one of the two options. Everyone will answer the question as quickly as possible. So we're going to start out really simple. We'll be gentle. Okay, so Tracy, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Tea.
Wine? Just kidding. Coffee.
Coffee.
Okay, coffee. Okay, next one. Dogs or cats? Same order.
Dogs.
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 Oh man, cats. Not by choice.
All right. Books or television? Books or television?
Books.
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 Television?
I'll go with you, Nicole. Don't worry. I go with you. Television.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I do believe we're in the golden age of television. It is amazing. Speaking of television, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Trek.
Oh, tough one. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Jason, what are you?
I'm definitely Star Wars. I never ever watched Star Trek. I don't know what that's all about. You?
Beam me up, Scotty.
Don't know what it's about. Okay. All right. Controversial, but timely. Taylor Swift or Kanye?
Swiftie for life.
Has to be Taylor Swift. My daughter would kill me.
Taylor Swift.
Same. T-Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift.
Unanimous. Okay, T Swift it is. Garth, unless are you Kanye? No?
No, I'm a Swiftie for sure. 1989. It's my era.
Okay,
All right.
and listeners, you might be wondering what this has to do with anything. I think this is actually getting to know one another in a really quick way. I think we've got several points of contact. This is maybe the virtual version of Biscuits with the Boss, if you will.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
First
There you
conference,
go.
best concert. So let's move into the second round. Garth, you want to lead this one too?
Yep. So we're going to go a little bit deeper here. We're going to call on some different leadership practices that have come out of our discussions over the last couple of seasons. So same order. Tracy, starting us off again. Jamie Tartt or Roy?
That's easy. Roy.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with Jamie Tartt.
There you go. And see, it wasn't easy at all for me between the two of them, but I'm leaning on Roy.
Super hard, but I'm going to go with Jamie Tartt.
I'm going with Roy. Roy all the way.
I thought Jamie would have had it. To be clear, I'm Jamie Tartt in the third season. He is, when he's the full character. Virgil, what is it for you about Jamie Tartt?
Well, I think, for me, I think he's seen the most growth. I mean, he's the superstar and then he's the second fiddle. And I think in those roles where he was the best player, then Zabla comes in, he's kicked to the second seat, and then he's kicked, he's kicked off the team. And then you see really the pain that he has in his upbringing with his father and that dynamic, which, plagues, can plague many of us. And you see that that's the source of both his strength and his pain. And so I think he's had the most growth. And I really like his character arc from start to finish.
Virgil, I'm so with you. I'm so with you. It's like that shift of like how the really hard things in our life actually make us great leaders. It's that like you don't need to like never make mistakes or never have a hard moment, but it's ultimately like what you do with that life experience.
Now, before we started, we took odds, and the highest odds were that Tracy would take Jamie. So you busted that odd. What is about Roy, Tracy, that brings you to him?
Oh, there's so many things. Jamie's great, but really for me, I see Roy's transformation from like someone who just has a lot of, kind of egocentral feelings about themselves, that they're the best, some issues with like anger and like how they express their feelings, how they step into leadership that they're so clearly should be stepping into. And by the time we get to the end, he is just incredible. He has learned so much. He's stepping into so many incredible relationships, really taking on leadership, joins the Diamond Dogs. I mean, that alone should get him some credit. And I just really love that arc of him kind of just becoming more of a three-dimensional person.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this is go ahead, Tanai.
I think he also brings cursing to an elevated art form, and we can't discount that. But I think that episode where Sudeikis or Ted Lasso brings him to help Isaac out of his funk, and he brings him back to his like hometown pitch under the apartment lights. Like that was a tipping point for me. And I think that was such a, like, just a wonderful display in like recognizing what someone needed in that moment. And like totally agree, Tracy, he reluctantly leans into it, but then he just realized that's his superpower. So it's pretty Roy Kent all the way.
All right. Okay. Rapid fire. This is supposed to be a bit quicker, but here we're going to get back to it. All right. Tracy, you're up again. Workout or meditation?
Workout.
I'll work out all day, every day.
Workout.
Meditation.
Workout.
Okay. Dr. Kathy Bishop, workout. Tell us about it.
You know, again, I hate binaries. It was a tough one because I really appreciate meditation. And I think when I work out, I meditate a lot of times, but I think there's something really about having that head, heart, hand connection and just being in our body. So being able to sort of work out any kind of issues, but also just working out and feeling good in terms of who I am in my body. So I think that in itself then enhances the leadership in terms of how we show up, being fully present. So they kind of interweave with me, but I had to land on workout.
I know it's not a simple question. Nicole, tell us about meditation.
Oh, do you really want me to? Listen, it was the reason this was an easy decision for me is because I am so uncoordinated and like sports are so hard for me. I managed to fly over a net playing tennis. So sports and working out aren't always my friends. So I figured sitting still is something I could learn to perfect.
Just say
meditation by default. Yeah, well done.
Absolutely.
But I do appreciate, Kathy, that these two are both great practices. Like personally, the work, like what I train to do is like very linear. So I swim, I bike, I run, and there is this like repetitive meditation, physical meditation that you get into. That is one of the reasons I love to be in training. So, okay. Early morning meetings or late evening meetings, Tracy?
Early morning.
Late night.
Late evening meetings.
Morning.
Wow. Okay. Jason, where are you on this?
Morning all the way. I am not a good night guy.
Yeah. I tend to fade after the course. What, like Virgil, what is it about a late evening meeting that you like?
Well, part of it, I think for me, it's just I get to summarize the day, and depending on what the meeting is, there's for me a good summary of what I've done, and if there's a difficult topic, it gives me time to think about it and research whatever I need to research, and then be ultimately prepared. Sometimes in the morning, you might have to get up maybe 3 a.m. to do that. Whereas if it's a 8 o'clock meeting, I have all day to think about it.
Yeah. Tanai, what about you?
I'm just fresher in the morning. I feel like I'm just more ready to take on, everything's firing a little bit quicker in the morning. That's always been an early riser. So I think that's helped me.
Is it less humid? Is it less humid in Hanoi in the mornings?
No, it's always humid. It's humid 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Garth, when we were out at NLC, more often than not, I got the question, how do you guys find the time to do this podcast? And I said, there's two things. One, I think we manage our time well. And secondly, we do it fast. This really doesn't take that much time. But when you think about time, there are a couple of great books. I'm sure lots of our listeners have heard of them. But first one is When by Dan Pink is incredible about what you're asking about, early mornings or late nights when your brain functions best and everybody's a little bit different. And the second one's a great book called 168 Hours You Have More Time Than You Think. And both of those really do help us better understand our time and when we work as leaders. So great question. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're all getting the hang of this. All right. This or that, Tracy, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Listening or convincing?
Listening.
Convincing, but I use it for good.
I'd say listening unconvincingly. But yeah, listening.
Nice. Okay. Next question. Superpower, compassion or transparency?
Oh, that's tough. Compassion.
Transparency.
Compassion.
Okay. And last one, superpower, connection or productivity?
Connection.
Connection. Fluidity. I got to go between the two. Connection. I guess I'll lean toward connection, but I'm big on productivity too.
Kathy hates this.
I do. What is this with binaries? It's a both and.
I know. We'll get to that. Nicole?
Thanks, guys.
I would aspirationally connection, but probably what my team would tell you is productivity.
Mm-hmm.
I resonate with that.
Say it again, tonight?
Oh, yeah, go tonight.
Connection for tonight. Okay, so we've got, from the group, superpowers, most of us lean towards listening, compassion, and connecting, which isn't surprising, like people who want to be on this podcast talking about Ted Lasso, these are three things that he does incredibly well. And some would argue, like Nicole, Ted Lasso's last piece is actually productivity. So it's the last thing he gets to. When I was at Royal Roads, we did this values-based leadership with Kathy, which is amazing. And we did have to do a values sort of inventory piece. And actually, Kathy, one of my strongest values is productivity. So Nicole, tell us about your response. And I want to get to Kathy around fluidity, but why would your team say productivity, but you say connection?
Well, I think I aspire to be a connector, but I think at my core, I'm somebody who helps start things, to get things done, right? Like that's literally our job when we come in to do consulting work and to help leaders, is to sort of help them get unstuck. And it is like a secret superpower of mine that like I'm really good getting things done. And sometimes like in the process, like I forget how important connection is to some folks. And so I'm surrounded by a great team that are deep connectors, and I aspire to be better at connecting like them. But I actually think that there's something cool about having diverse teams where people bring different skill sets. And so as much as I aspire to be a connector, I think I'm the producer, or like the production productivity person on our team, and learning to embrace it.
Yeah, fair enough. Does anyone else want to pile on there around connection versus productivity?
I think, Nicole, maybe you're selling yourself short. I think as hearing you say you're the person that gets things started and all that, you can't do that unless you've also made connections between other people's strengths and maybe like the different areas of work that need to be connected. So I would say your success of superpower and productivity is probably because you are really good at seeing connections, maybe just differently than others.
Oh my gosh, Tracy, I feel so seen. Yeah, no, I see connections really well. I love that the way that you said it, because I'm actually like a secret superpower is seeing connections, but it's not always like being still enough to connect with folks, right? Like this work, and all of us know this, working in education, you're so busy. There's like 100 things coming at you any given moment, right? Like a parent needs you, a kid needs you, a teacher needs you. And so I'm really good at like getting those things done. And it's really hard for me to sometimes remember to like, oh wait, I got to slow down. So, but I do see how they connect, and I feel incredibly seen by you. So thank you.
That's great. Kathy, can you tell us a little bit more about fluidity?
Certainly.
Why is this so frustrating for you?
Well, I'll answer that first, but I just want to say Tracy and Nicole just exemplified my point, right? In terms of there is a fluidity in terms of, and I guess where it's frustrating, because I really believe it all belongs. And so when we start to set up these false binaries, that's where we start to have conflicts. And to me, conflict is about leading into opportunity. So in these emerging times, we really do recognize that it all belongs, and that it is a question of when do we focus more on connections? When do we focus more on productivity? But we need both. We need it all. And then you're right, as Nicole said, we also have to recognize that some people have a natural leaning towards some or the other, and some preferences. But again, a lot of times that's contextual. And so to really embrace fully who we are as human beings, I think that it is about connection and productivity. We're here to make an impact. We're here to influence, and we do that in relationship.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's so well said. And
Well, I think
in terms of binary pieces too, like just going back to what Virgil was talking about with my favorite Jamie Tartt, that his pain is a source of strength as well, right? So it holds this duality together, I think, in a really great way. Jason?
Garth, as I think about this and this section, oftentimes as a result of this podcast, well, folks come up to us and say, tell us more about leadership. We want to learn more about leadership. And it comes back for me as something Hal Hannaford said in a recent episode is leadership's about authenticity. And as we move through these rapid fire questions, it's really heartening to see that everybody leads a different way and leans in, but is effective in that. And ultimately, it's the authenticity in our leadership that allows everybody to lead in their own way. Thanks, everybody, for playing this or that with us. I think that was truly enlightening. Garth, what do we have next on the episode?
We're going to keep this going with rapid fire. Rapid fire. Here we go. We want to answer the questions as quickly as possible. We're going to go in the same order to put a lot of pressure on Tracy all the time. So, and make Tanai the tiebreaker and everything. So here we go. What is one piece of advice that you have for stepping into a challenging conversation with someone who directly reports to you? So stepping into a challenging conversation, someone who's directly reporting to you, you have to mentor them, you have to give them advice, whatever it is. What's one piece of advice that you have for leaders in that situation? Tracy, kick us off.
That is a great question. For me, it's make sure you always are focusing on the other person's humanity and how you can keep their dignity intact. And that's different for everybody. So you really need to know something about the person you're going into a difficult conversation, how they like to get feedback, how they handle those situations so you can approach it so that they leave that conversation feeling that their dignity is whole.
Virgil.
You're gold.
Yeah, I think, having transparency and compassion, and in terms of understanding, as Tracy said, understanding how they want to receive feedback. Some people, can take it very directly. Others, has to be a bit of a softer landing. And so having both the transparency to be honest, to a level that's not hurtful, but also having compassion and being a great listener. I think we can learn a lot from what they need in terms of just listening to verbal cues and body language. And so I think that would be my advice in terms of having a difficult conversation with a direct report.
Awesome.
Lovely. And I would say, yes, Tracy, yes, Virgil. And I would add in, recognize the power you have and the impact you may have because of it. And so be kind.
I'm going to bounce off of that piece. There's a great book that I read called Thanks for the Feedback. And it's about the art and science of receiving feedback and just about like what things sound like when you hear them versus like how they sound to you when you give that feedback. I think it's a great book for teams to read, just to realize that like, hey, how the words sound in your head when like they're, or even in your own ear when they're coming out is really different than what they sound like to somebody as they're receiving them. So it's a really practical and just helpful book that might be worth for teams to read.
There is absolutely nothing further to that other than the empathy piece. But I would say one thing I've been using is actually script out kind of the key things I want to say so it feels prepared. And that way I'm also coming at it with a little bit of data to help inform what is the root cause of needing to be in this situation. But like I said, it was beautiful. Compassion, transparency, empathy, all of those things are there. And I found just the practical step of like literally scripting, what are my key talking points, and practicing that has been quite transformational in how I go into those conversations.
This is absolute gold. I'm loving this. And we're doing a pretty good job on keeping it pretty rapid. So some of you might just say same again, but what's one piece of advice you have for having a difficult conversation with someone that you are reporting to? Like it could be your board, it could be your boss, it could be some like a colleague, but what's a piece of advice you have for having a difficult conversation with someone that you are reporting to?
I would say for this one, stick with the facts and come with solutions.
Oof, that's a good one. Try to be less emotional, or try to somehow take the emotion out of it, and and go in with, I would say, probably low expectations in terms of outcomes of what could happen, maybe. And just not be emotional about it, I think, if that's at all possible.
Great. And in thinking about the board piece of it, Garth, I would say be prepared and articulate clearly why this is critical and how it needs their support.
I would add to that saying leverage one-on-one conversations. Mm-hmm. Don't catch your board by surprise, and remind them of the why and kind of the intentions, like why we're all here. Why are you volunteering as a board member? But it's really that, like, I think if there was only one piece, it'd be like, have a one-on-one conversation. Nobody likes being surprised in a group.
My former boss is on this call, so I need to be careful about how I start with it. I think in the context of boards, I think it's recognizing that they have different areas of expertise that are inviting them into that educational space. So trying to sort of get them to see things through that lens, like our board does. And I don't work directly with our board, but our board doesn't have a lot of educators on it, or any educators. So leaning into their areas of expertise to like try and build coherence and like transfer that perspective to what's happening in the context of a school, I think is one way to do that.
I can definitely.
So far, we've had two rapid fire questions, and if you take both of those, it's so interesting because our first answer was like focus on humanity, dignity, recognize your power, be kind. And then some of the answers when you're getting ready to have a conversation, reporting upwards, it's like facts, less emotion, be prepared, no surprises. So this is like a great perspective taking exercise that we're having too. All right, next one. What is one practice that you believe or that you have that you can offer for hiring well? Tracy? Hiring well.
If you have any like seminal documents, send those to the interviewees ahead of time so that you can ask specific questions and really dig down. Do they understand what is happening at your school or wherever you're working?
Find out something about the individual that they're passionate about. It doesn't have to be necessarily, the job that they're interviewing for, but if there's something that they're passionate about just in their lives, I think that's a good sign, because then they, it shows a level of caring, it shows a level of intention in their lives. And so having something that's, whether or not they're passionate about, triathlons, like, biking, running, swimming, that's a good hire to have, because they show a level of discipline and passion in some other area.
And I'd say you really want to get a sense of who the person is and what values they hold dear, because you can train all the other stuff. And I remember one time I asked a question that was really powerful. I sort of said, what animal would you say best describes you? And the person says, well, I'm an eagle. And I thought, that's awesome. Like an eagle as a leader, that's great. And I said, yeah, tell me more. And they said, because I like to fly above people and look down on them. And I was like, oh, okay, now we're getting down to what you really value. So, get a sense of who the person is.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So one piece of advice in a really different direction for hiring well is leverage your network. It's a small education world. Everyone knows everyone, or many people are connected in many different ways. And it's really nice when people offer references, but often you'll notice that person already exists in your network in other ways. And so, don't be afraid to ask trusted colleagues their opinion, because there's a lot of great people out there that you can lean on that might have some great advice for you.
I would add checking your own biases around the people that come across your interview panels or the resumes you read. Like really dig into checking like what are the things that you're like what are your affinity biases, what are all those different things, and because you might find someone who you wouldn't have normally looked at for a variety of reasons and find that they are actually going to be the best fit for the organization. And I do think focusing on organizational values when making those decisions, because those end up being the most difficult parts of like the misalignment, right? It's not usually about instructional practice. It's about all the human messy side of things that really so focusing on values alignment right off the jump before you get even into the nitty gritty of the teaching and learning would be my advice.
Nice.
So, okay.
Next rapid fire question. What is so important for you in creating a really effective culture?
Love this question.
Tracy had to fall off there. So let's go, Virgil.
Okay. All right. I was like waiting for that. I think in an organization, I mean, it can be very hierarchical, and sometimes the most junior person doesn't have voice. And I think creating a culture is having one where whether or not someone is junior, senior, old, young, whatever it may be, everyone having a voice. And so flattening out that hierarchical structure where people aren't afraid to make suggestions and to offer opinion, to better the organization. So I think that's a great, for me, that's a great way for culture, to have a great culture.
Yes, I really agree. I think you really need to create the space to consistently dialogue around what's important and where the tensions or the challenges and how to move forward. And I'd add in there to communicate relentlessly and inspiring purpose and vision as a leader. Get people moving in the same guiding star and being passionate about that.
I'm going to say joy. This work is really hard, and we spend a lot of time at work comparatively to like other parts of our life. So like it has to be joyful, and you got to find ways to bring that joy, to laugh, to connect. So I think effective culture starts and ends with joy.
Yeah, great question. I think for me, the notion that the smartest person in the room is the room. So again, like making sure, like Virgil said, like elevating everyone's voices, making sure that people feel they have the scope to share, regardless of where they sit on the org chart, their thoughts and opinions in a way that will be seen and valued. And I do agree with Nicole. Joy is paramount in all that. So, yeah.
Amazing. Like, listeners, we have skipped several questions here because it's so rich. Jason, I think we have to try and do this again because there's so much here to unpack. There's so much here to share as well. What do you think?
I think so too. This has been a total leadership clinic. I think we've, started with the get to know you. We've gone into the leadership principles, and now let's close, Garth, with the final segment around, some of the bigger vision pieces. I know we've drafted a few questions for our guests, so let's rapid fire right through this, and I can't wait to hear their answers.
Okay, so we've got if you could put a message on all the marquees outside of schools or businesses, what would that message be? Virgil?
Be curious, not judgmental.
Yeah, good one.
Together, we make a difference.
I see you. You matter.
How do I talk? Like, what do I do here? I would say, leaning on Nicole's point previously, joy happens here.
Nice. I thought it was going to be, what do I do here?
Yeah, I thought that was a good one too.
That's
a good provocation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Based on all of us, what do you want schools to know about learning?
It's a never-ending journey. It never stops.
It's not about filling up students as empty vessels, but inspiring new ways of being, doing, and relating to discover a collective wisdom.
It's a process, not a destination.
Yeah, I was saying journey. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite quote you want to share?
Well, Arthur Ashe, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can.
Nice. And I'm going to modify a Mary Oliver quote somewhat, which is, what will you do with your one wild and precious leadership?
I'm going to go with Walt Whitman. And this one means a lot to me just as a leader and the complexity of how we show up. But it's, do I contradict myself? Very well, then. I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes.
I'll piggyback on the sports one. I think it was Michael Jordan. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I think that's an MJ quote, but just that idea of taking risks. Yeah.
Amazing. This is just awesome stuff. Last one. What is your favorite karaoke song?
Well, Garth, in fitting, it's Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places.
Oh my gosh, right. Virgil, I had the same one.
I will sing that one with you.
Yes. As will I.
Was that your one, Kathy?
That was my one too.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Nicole?
I'm going to join that one because I feel like it's such a good one.
Indeed.
I got friends in those places.
Tonight?
Yeah. Honestly, like mine would probably be like "Living on a Prayer" by John Bon Jovi.
Oh, that's also a good one.
Like, nice.
But I can't sing that one. That's hard.
It's the first one.
Yeah. Big, these big sort of epic songs. Jason's cringing in the background here, but I won't put him on the spot. I want to go back to what Kathy was saying, this idea of collective wisdom. And we have collected so much wisdom in this short time. I know we've gone over our usual time limit, but totally worth it. Thank you to each one of you for making the time and for helping us become better leaders.
Absolutely. That was an incredible show, everybody. Thanks for being here and spending time and joining us from around the globe. And thanks to everybody, including our listeners. As always, if you like what you're hearing, tell your friends, like and subscribe, because we loved having you on here. We love hearing from you. And if we're ever going to get Sudeikis on this show, we're all going to need your help.
Yeah. So thanks again, everybody. And we're going to ask our guests to, in a chorus, please take us home on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Until next time, keep leading the lasso way.
All right, we should stick to karaoke, but that was
voices.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much, everybody. Virgil, Nicole, tonight, Dr. Kathy Bishop, Jason, and Tracy was on here, and David Coffey, who tried to come in but wasn't able to make it. And thanks to all of our listeners. It's been a great episode. Cheers, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.